Hey there, everyone. The market looking a little bit cranky this morning. We'll take a look at what is happening during these pre-market hours. We'll also give a Bitcoin update and also XRP and Sui. And then we also have the penny stocks. I talked about the best penny stocks to buy now. I have 3 of them to share with you. I'll give you updates on them today. We'll see how they're doing in the pre-market hours as well and see how they could be shaping up. So without further ado, we'll get into it. By the way, my buys and sells, my other analyses, you can see them over at the Discord. Links in the description, 50% off your first month. Tell you more about that later. So kicking things off with QQQ. In the pre-market hours down at 517, we keep on finding buying pressure right around in this area. As long as we stay above 513, we're probably going to be in pretty good shape. If not, watch for that gap fill that go all the way down to 493, which is around that 200-day, which we still haven't retested for support. I got to say, I don't think that this is a straight-up journey yet. Although, let me take down the technicals because do you guys see that? Check that out right there. The 20-day and the 200-day just smooching each other. They actually shared the exact same value as of yesterday's close. That cross is a bullish thing. Now, mind you, in the near term, we could still see a reversion to the mean. This blue line that you have on here, that 20-day is actually a pretty important thing. We do want to find support sometime soon because we haven't looked for support until you go all the way back to, it looks like Wednesday on May the 7th. So 2 weeks ago from today since we last checked support. So we now found out about where the ceiling's at. Now it's probably getting soon time to find out where the floor is. I could be wrong today. And now, mind you, we could blast through this line. The line that we have to sit on top of is 521. Haven't quite gotten there yet. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll see what we get today. Still overall bullish. I'm still looking for that time that we come back and we find out where the floor is. For the SPY here, tracking the S&P 500. So on the SPY, what do we got for this thing? We are currently between 596 and 588.72. Pre-market around 589. Losing this line across here could have us coming back here and testing the 200-day, which I still want to see that support. We fill that gap that's down here that I have advertised for you. There we go. Pardon me. Fill that gap that I have down here advertised for you. And that 20 nearly ready to cross the 200. Not quite as advanced as we saw with QQQ, but still a good thing. It already crossed over the 50. The 50 over the 200 is the big one. A retest of support at the 200-day with the candles, with the price action, along with a rebound and that 50 crossing the 200. Getting us that golden cross moment would be very, very welcome. Moving over to IWM, even closer to that gap fill than what we had for SPY and QQQ. That gap goes all the way down to 202. We keep on finding buying pressure right around 205. So we absolutely will be watching for that as well. A quick touch on NVIDIA. I said for NVIDIA to make this 143.96, market go up, NVIDIA go up. I think that's what we're looking for as we get into that earnings season, that earnings day that comes up next week, a week from today, Wednesday, May 28th in the after hours. So be on the lookout for that. A very decently bullish look here besides being a little bit on the overbought side on a daily basis. We have the 20 over the 50 and that 20 is also climbing up towards the 200-day. If we go over to Tesla, what do we got for Tesla? Sitting around 345, still kind of stuck in this broadening pattern that's right here in the center of your screen. Not quite able to break out of it yet. This area of resistance, if we keep on getting rejected out of there too much, we could come back down and once again find ourselves retesting 336. We'll watch and see what we get from that. Falling down below that takes us down to about 317, 314, breaking out of the top of this thing up to 373. We would be watchful for that, potentially over 400. But once again, it kind of goes back to what I said about NVIDIA in the market. We want to see further upside on that. Bitcoin put in its 3rd highest price of all time. When do we want to say that that happened? So Wednesday, May 21st. So it says today. And now, mind you, if I'm talking Eastern time, and we look and see when that took place, it actually took place about 5 hours ago. So around 2 a.m. Eastern time is when we put in that price. And we've regained that support so far, but we'll see what happens because on a daily basis right now, we're kind of sputtering out in a momentum sense. But I will say that the weekly and monthly momentum that we have on here as per the RSI is actually still looking fairly ripe. So we'll see what we put in for Bitcoin. Market bias would certainly help this. The Qs, the NASDAQ 100 pushing up, the S&P 500 pushing up would help Bitcoin also find its stride for that momentum, at least in my opinion. Moving over to XRP. XRP is still riding along this trend line. We could still be sitting at support right at the 20-day. And well, right now off that drop that we saw and this kind of diamond pattern that we have here, we could see that continuation if we break down here. Watch for a touch at the 200 if we do. And if not, if we have support instead, then we want to be watching around that 265 number for some pretty major resistance coming in for XRP. For Sui, we still have this sort of shape going on right now. Now, mind you, it could also be in a rising wedge pattern as we saw before. And if you watch my video yesterday, you'll see more about that. Bitcoin is really going to help this thing out to reach 497. Bitcoin to all-time highs, SUI. Sui is also, sorry, I'm getting a little bit under the weather here. Sui is also going to push up to that 497 number. Now to the penny stocks on this thing. Let's go with BBAI, and we'll kind of go in order from there. Big Bear AI. There we go. And we'll look at the daily chart. Still sitting right as support in the pre-market hours, right at 350. If this thing's going to take off, 350 is the perfect place to do it. I don't know that we're going to get it, but we're going to keep on watching for it for right now. Yesterday, not really finding all that strength. This one's sitting in the AI space, where quantum actually seems to be the hot thing. I'll get to QSI in just a moment. The next one is Ogen, which still in the pre-market hours is putting in the work on this thing, closing yesterday at 81, this morning at 84, and a little bit after that, fractions of a penny after that, the 200-day is up at 86. Got to be watchful for that. The volumes are actually looking pretty darn good for this most recent run. And if we look a little bit farther left to see where that puts us, actually, let's take out some of the noise. We'll go to a weekly chart on this and then reset the view. There we go. That 50 week is coming down right around 97. And you guys can see over here when you look at these candles. Now, we actually end up finding that support coming in around 108. So probably some pretty massive resistance coming in around that $1 mark. So if we're able to make it up past the 200-day and then push on to the 50-week up here at 97, that's probably about where we're going to start finding that resistance coming in for us. Now, we'll see if it keeps on pumping past that or not. Ogen has been one that has been one of my previous favorites, and it's back in that spot of favoritism right now. And it's definitely moved up considerably since I started talking about it. Friday, May the 16th, we had a 7% day, a 1.5% day, a 5% day, and now up another 4% in the pre-market. We'll see if it holds out. And then QSI, there we go. The number that we're looking to clear, we actually have two numbers on here. 172 is the first one, and after 172, we're looking at 181. So 172 is actually a pretty big one because that's the 78.6 retracement level from the most recent run that it had. Getting on top of that gives us room to 181. That's copying this level that we have right here and transferring it to this bottom and moving north. If we're able to get above 181, that's going to be incredible. Got a big old volume move yesterday, potential that we're not done moving there. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the influence that we have from D-Wave Quantum on this, which in the pre-market hours is, well, it was at one point up here around 1850 as I looked at it, now settling on top of this resistance area that I charted yesterday, shared in the video yesterday, or I at least shared it over at the Discord. I'd have to look and see where I shared that, but it's definitely over at the Discord because we were able to trade off of this. I made 76% off of it, and we'll watch for that movement that we get here. I have an alert set right at about this resistance, right at about $20 if we pop up that high on that, because I think that that's where we're going to find that turnaround coming, if not sooner, from this euphoria that we've had for D-Wave Quantum. It could have a lot of promise, could have a lot of potential, but I don't know that Quantum's mature enough yet based on the revenues to merit the sort of trading multiple that we see on this one right now at that high market cap. So guys, down in the description, you'll find a link for Discord and Stockmo Academy. You can use the code word doctor at both places. So guys, you'll find a whole team of panel experts over there at the Discord, and just a whole team of people there to support the community of thousands of members and sharing our thoughts, our analyses, having conversations, our trades, you name it. It's over there waiting for you. All you have to do is dig right in using that link in the description for the Discord at 50% off your first month sign up using the code word doctor. Check it out for less than $1 a day. See what you think. I think you're going to find out that you're going to end up staying though, because you're just going to love everything that is there waiting for you. And then Stockmo Academy, if you want to learn about trading options like I do, if you want to learn about technical analysis and trading using the bread recipe trading strategy that I use, I'll tell you what, it's top notch, super easy to set up, super easy to follow, and you guys can get access to it through Stockmo Academy. He's a personal friend of mine. Links in the description. And you remember, use the code word doctor when you sign up for those courses. And if you bundle the courses, you get an even deeper discount for that bundle. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I am at Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. I'll see you next video.